Body Jerome Wright here, and once again you're joining me on my Jerome Wright YouTube channel here on YouTube. In this video I'm going to do a little something different, okay? And this image up here, I found it several weeks ago and I was impressed by it because when I saw the image I instantly knew that there was a sense of recognition with what was being said. This is actually a commercial advertisement for Mentos candy. That's Mentos, Mentos candy. Those sour balls. This is what the packet is down here, and it's saying that the candy is really sour. There's the packet down there. I'm going to go into some other ones as well too. But what caught my attention when I first ran across this advertisement, this commercial for this candy, was not the candy itself, but the actual images portrayed from these creatures up here. Because see, I know that we came from the dinosaur. I know that the lion played a part in the genetic becoming as mankind as well too. And this is why you have these three images in a row. When you think of this, think of the ancient myth of the Levitron and the sea serpent and the behemoth. It's always been stated that it was thought that mankind came from dog was earlier in mankind, which was that of the behemoth. This is where all of this is coming from. This is where these ideas are coming from. But the symbolic message behind this ad here is ancient rooted genes, genetics. I found through the Mentos commercial and ads that this candy is talking about, it actually has the capability of genetically altering mankind. Now, before you start thinking that that is foolish, a candy changing mankind's genes and genetics, causing for a chemistry of change within our bodies, think about it. Think about you having the ancient rooted knowledge and the chemistry, the cauldron, the cocktail, to cause changes and effects in humankind's body and mankind's body based on your knowledge. And that is what is occurring. Now, I'm going to keep on going because I'm going to show you some things about this. You have the dinosaurs spitting up a lion. Now this is all. Now think about this now. Where does all of this come from? This idea comes from just from basically a Mentos sour candy pack. You're talking about something ancient rooted, far back, billions and billions of years ago, a dinosaur, spitting up a lion, which been around for millions and billions of years, and then spitting out a caveman, which was actually came about hundreds and thousands of years ago. And then you have the caveman with different color hair, different color beard, and he's spitting out a green Mentos candy ball over here. I don't know if you can see that. That's right in here. There's my stick there on the. I gotta lower this down some. Okay, he's spitting out a green Mentos candy ball here. But what's impressive, what captures my attention here about all that is that the way the caveman is holding his hand. You notice the way he's holding his club in this hand? Well, the caveman has his hand, his finger going around like this here, and the pinky finger around like that as well. There too. People, it's an implication of the same way. I don't know if you guys, if you're grown up, okay, then you know that this is implying a person with a round object in their hand, okay, and that choking, that throwing up thing. I don't know if you ever had. Well, I've had my penis sucked before. That's where I'm going with this. I've had my penis sucked before, and this is the identical hand posture that the female would actually use to suck my penis. And sometimes she gagged on it, and this would be the end result. So I'm implying that this commercial ad is suggesting the same thing about this caveman with a penis in his mouth, and he gagged on it. Now, this is just the symbolic message of it all. It's telling you that this caveman has been introduced to genetics from the pineal gland. This is what this message is actually stating. What comes from the pineal gland? Semen, and in some cases blood. This is what this is describing. This caveman has been introduced to in DNA. So it's telling you that certain individuals from this group is telling you, it's describing with the caveman. It's telling you know what it's telling you? That the caveman is half white and half black. They're discussing certain people from certain origins, and I'm going to go into another slide. Now, how do I know that this caveman is half white and half black? It's telling you through the through the coloring of the hair and the facial hairs, telling you that this guy is not all the way white. So it's telling you that this candy is having an adverse effect towards people people of origins from ethnic backgrounds that are not white. I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna go on. Let me go on. Here. There's the Mentos. There's the Mentos candies packed down there. This man. Can we get this to go larger? Come on. There you go. This man is shown hanging from a rope. Look, got an earring in his ear from a certain group, ethnic background group. Now check this out. Has his nostrils deformed, wide open. Look at this. Look at his nostrils, looking snaky like. A wide nostril person from a certain ethnic background. Earring in his ear. He's hanging, showing you a snake. He opens up a thing of cyanide, and on the other side of the lid is a snake that's biting him. Now check this out. Now this is, people, again, a Mentos. Come on down. Oh gosh, what am I doing here? If I wanted that to go that large, I could never get that to do that again. Alright, here, let me go over here. Alright, there you go. There's the Mentos. Okay, over there. Alright, there it is there. Mentos candy marbles. Right there. Look how the pack is open. The man is on a chair and he's hanging himself. The implication of this is that the candy is so sour that it's driving you to commit suicide. You can't stand it. That's what the message behind all of this is. That the candy is so sour. Look, it's like taking cyanide poison and killing yourself. But it's not talking for all people though. It's telling you that this candy is having a certain effect on a certain ethnic background of people. Alright, I'm going to go again. Because I'm going to go to another. Here, again, a person from a certain ethnic background, showing you. Now the last one was a person committing suicide from eating the Mentos candy. Now here we go again. Come on? What is this going? This. I swear I'm gonna get rid of this computer that I have here. It still works for now. The Mentos candy is down there. The man, check this out, how he's committing suicide here. He's on a railroad tracks. It's like he's gonna get got one way or the other. He's on a railroad tracks. He has a grenade in his hand, has a pin pulled in his mouth, and he's in a guillotine, and he's gonna pull with the other. Has a hand grenade in one hand, pulled the pin with his mouth, got the pin in his mouth, and he's got his head in a guillotine. Okay, so 3 ways he's committing suicide. Check this out, people. And then he has a train. He's on the railroad tracks and going to be killed by a train. All behind, engaging in the sour candy, the sour balls. Come on, what the heck? This is where we at here. Mementos. Where we at with this? Can I close that and then come back? Okay. Okay, let's go back to that again. All right, there you go. Now check this out. So 3 ways is it says unbearably sour. The Mentos candy. So it has the pack down here at the railroad tracks right there, and then has this man dying 3 ways at once. He's dying 3 ways at once behind engaging in this candy. What the heck is going on here? What? I guess it's something, a ghost or something don't want me to take and show you this. Look, it keeps going back down. Oh, this is crazy. Let's go to the next one. Alright, here you go here. Again, another man committing suicide. Now, this is 3 ways again, people. Another person committing suicide 3 ways. Again, an implication of a person from a certain ethnic background. Wide, elongated noses. Look at the hair. Okay? Now check this out. Has him biting his tongue, throwing a fit, having a fit, a seizure. Has a gun to his head, jumping off of a building, there's the building there, and then plus at the same time, in the other hand, sticking a knife in his stomach, killing himself that way. And there's the pack of Mentos marbles showing you that this is what is responsible for causing all of this. Now get this. Now I just showed you the ad before where the guy was on the railroad tracks with the grenade, had his head in the guillotine, and then on top of that was going to be killed by the train. 3 ways that he was going to die. There was no way around it. His fate was sealed. The same thing here. The guy is jumping off the building, has a gun to his head, has a knife to his stomach, and having an epileptic fit, a seizure, because he's biting on his tongue. 4 ways here that is showing. Now, if you don't believe me, Google the commercials. Google Mentos ads, and all of this will come up. Now, the thing about all of this is that, think about it. This reminds me of terrorists that commits terrorist acts on humanity or against humanity, and then they claim responsibility for it. People, this is no damn different. These people, the makers of Mentos marbles, candy, sour marbles, the Mentos candy, is claiming responsibility for certain acts of suicide and actions, or let's say actions which cause a person to commit suicide. That's what this is stating. You just look at it and don't take it into a real sense because it seems to be cartoon. But through my paranormal experience and encounter, when I encountered these commercials, I knew automatically that these commercials, instinctively knew that these commercials were talking about something of a reality. Now just imagine your child. Now we all know that children, when they eat candy, they become very hyper. Some of us say, look, we got to keep our children away from this candy. But just imagine the chemistry in the candy. It is beyond that of just having high sugar levels and causes your child to go and to have a reaction to the sugar. It's beyond that. There is mind control behind this. Now I'm going to keep going and I'm going to show you something else where I'm going to touch base with you on this. How many minutes I got? Okay, we're good. Again, here's a whale in a body of water spitting out a great white shark, and the great white shark is spitting out a person of color, and the person of color is spitting out a red Mentos sour candy bar. Candy ball, and then it has on here really sour. Again, to most, this commercial don't mean anything. But to those that have the hidden knowledge of how mankind was truly created, then they'll know that these are talking about genes and genetics targeted towards a certain group, and these candies have an effect on that certain targeted group of people. See, you do not realize it that mankind evolved out of the ocean through this fish, the whale as well, and through the great white. See my other videos here, people. These creatures are genetic contributors to the becoming of mankind's being, which calls for a reptilian ancestor. All right. Now, this candy is describing that certain certain genes from groups of people, the origins. This candy has an adverse effect on those that eat it. Now, again, the same exact thing. Here is a serpent, a snake, spitting out a crocodile. A crocodile, look, showing you that the crocodile almost has human legs here. I don't know if you can actually see that right there. But if you Google the image, you'll be able to see this. Okay? So Google these ads, please. You got to see it to believe it. The serpent spitting out the crocodile. Oh, I was just talking about reptiles, okay? Mankind coming from reptiles and reptilian man. The crocodile spit out this man. There's a man right there. And the man is spitting out a yellow Mentos sour candy bar. I keep saying candy bar. Candy ball. People, our beings and our existence is based on genetic manipulation. Certain groups of peoples know this. Ancient rooted religion, ancient rooted royalty, and those in the ancient roots of the art world. This is the cause for this ad. And then on top of that, the art chemistry behind this ad, they are telling and warning their own kind that this is the causes and effects that this candy has on these groups of people coming from these genetic origins. It's no different than this being, and look, it's no different. I'm going to tell you something, and you're gonna come to know soon that this is no different than saying that this is a black person, this is an Asian person, and this is a let's say a where can we go at this with this? Let's just say a European person, and this is the causes and effect, which causes from this candy. I'm going to show you something else. I'm going to have to put more on right now. There's that whale again. I'm going to show you something else. I'm going to keep going. Okay, there's the ad again too. Again. So if you Google this, you'll see these ads. I'm going to keep going. Let me keep going. Here. Sir Isaac Newton. This says he's holding up this Mentos pack. Okay? And the ad is that the secret of my success. That's what this is actually stating with Sir Isaac Newton. Mentos, helping people get ideas. This candy is describing people. I mean, it might sound trivial that they're claiming to alter the mind through this candy and help people get great ideas. But people, this is Sir Isaac Newton. Now check this out. That's one. Now check this out. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna keep going. I have to come back to that commercial there. Alright. I'm gonna go. That's Sir Isaac Newton. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna come back to these commercials here. Come on, where is it? Where are you at? Where are you at? Where you at, Einstein? Where you at, Einstein? Okay. Here's another one. This here's Alchemies with Mementos. There's the pack right there in his hand. Alchemies is they're showing Alchemies butt naked and hollering Eureka. Mentos helping people get ideas. This candy is talking about that it alters the makers of this candy are here's Sir Einstein right here. I eat Mentos. Do you? Mentos helping people get ideas. That's come on now. These people are claiming to have a secret, an ancient technology in this candy, which causes for the altering of the mind. And they're taking it very serious. They have Sir Isaac Newton, they have Einstein, and they have alchemies in their ancient commercials ads. And then they're showing other people that they're showing the Caucasians, they're showing them getting great ideas. People of color, they're showing them having an adverse effect and killing themselves and committing suicide, hanging themselves from chairs, throwing themselves in front of trains, stabbing themselves, shooting themselves, committing violent acts of suicide through self-infliction. Now, people, this is very serious because you must think about it in the suburban areas. Now, I'm not saying that candy is causing all of this, but people, imagine the behavior of certain people being contributed to this, especially when you have these school shootings where people just go off and take guns and go to their home, come to school with a gun and kill 30 and 40 people in one shot, which happens. Here we have a Caucasian individual, and they're showing him in a joking way smoking the Mentos like if it's crack. These are ads that are online about this candy company. Look, here they're showing where Mentos, where it's added into Coke soda, it explodes, caused by the adverse effects between the soda and the candy. Again, they have a Diet Coke and Mentos. This is supposed to have an adverse effect. Now, I didn't even know about this until I started having my experience and encounter when I seen that first ad with the dinosaur and with the caveman and with the lion. This is when I started becoming exposed to this, because I have children that it could easily happen that I go into the stores a lot. My kid could ask for Mentos. I give them Mentos, and then it could come through a chain of events where, okay, fine, they might get a sip of Diet Coke from somewhere. Might go to McDonald's to get a Coke soda or a Diet Coke, and this adverse effect that happens. They're saying that there's a reaction. So we could go at one point to 5 and Below and get us some candy, or go to a Wawa or 7, get the Mentos candy, and then go to McDonald's and they may have a Coke, and this adverse effect happens. And then I'm wondering why my child is being rushed to the hospital, or why they don't feel well, or what is going on with them. Or for that matter, they have a fit after a certain point of time and run off and commit suicide. Because this is what this candy product is talking about, that it invokes in a person or provokes a person to do. They're telling you in their commercials that this is what it does. So imagine a mindless individual. Children, and I'm not saying that children are minded, but I'm saying before a mind develops. And then you have in the suburban areas where people have dropped out of school, they have a lower grade of education, and you can have an adult that's 18, maybe 20 or 30 years old. They have the mindset of the 15 and 16-year-old, which categorizes them as a child. And then they have these suicide tendencies, which is provoked by this candy. This is what this is all coming down to. So it's almost like, you know what I mean? And they're taking responsibility in their commercials for causing this. It's, in other words, what's going on out in with these gang-related activity in California and all these other places where you have mindless gang members and people going out and, I mean, eating this candy, Mentos candy products, and committing violent acts not only against themselves but against other peoples. This is what they're saying. That's what these ads are stating. And the Mentos candy people are taking these are all ads which actually show you what happens when Mentos is mixed with Coke. So this is where I'm at with this. Okay, we still got a few minutes. I'm gonna go back to, it's even showing a person rest in peace, dead. Here, this is a Spanish ad where it's showing you where Mentos is mixed with Coke plus Mentos plus Coke. That's what it's showing you. And then it's showing you rest in peace over here. Look. So there is a serious side effect. Here's a Mentos truck colliding with a Coke truck, and it says the second before everything ceased to exist. That's what this is stating. It says this is a Mentos truck colliding with the Coca-Cola truck, and it says the moment before everything ceased to exist. So there is, I mean, these are cartoons, but the more here's a before and after of this is a Diet Coke, and this is after the Mentos was added to it, and it shows that it exploded. Let me keep going here. Here's a cartoon where I swear this never happened, where Coke is actually sleeping in bed with Mentos. I'm going to put more in writing. Again, this is telling you that this candy has a positive effect towards certain groups of Caucasians. Not every Caucasian. Just because you're Caucasian, don't think that this candy is good for you. Not every Caucasian. I'm talking about the Caucasians that has the bloodlines of Sir Isaac Newton, which they're talking about royalty in this. That's when they're not talking about just Caucasians. So don't get that twisted, people. The bloodlines of Sir Isaac Newton, and the bloodlines of Alchemies, and the bloodlines of Einstein. This is what they're talking about. Okay, certain individuals. This opens up the mindsets in those individuals. It's telling you that it affects the minds of people. That's what this candy is telling you. Not all Caucasians. Don't think just because you're white you're all right with this. If you do not have if you're clueless to what until I was just now telling you what this was all about, then you are a victim. You are not. You're not benefiting from this in any way. All right. Let's go back to. I'm gonna go back to that man killing himself before I end this video, because I'm gonna leave you with that. This is saying, you know how many people, if you Google how many people throw themselves in front of trains and commit suicide, people, this will be no joke to you. When I saw this, I thought that this man is on a railroad tracks. Here's an oncoming train, and they're showing him in a guillotine cutting off his own head. Okay, are we zooming in? Okay, cutting off his own head in a guillotine, about to cut off his own head in a guillotine. The Mentos candy is down there, and he's actually got a grenade there, showing him killing himself 3 different ways, or he's about to die 3 different ways. That's what this is showing us right there. Showing you that if he doesn't die one way, he's going to die the other way, or he's going to die another way. This is what this is showing us right here, people. Look, 3 different ways this man is dying. 3 different ways. Through a suicide. Imagine this candy. Look, you have suicide bombers. You have, especially with the young kids going into school. Imagine a kid eating this candy for approximately 1 year. Now, I'm not saying that I'm just saying just the candy alone. And this candy actually has this effect to depress a person to the state of being where they contemplate suicide, and not only contemplate it, but they carry out on the act. And being in this mindset, they decide that they don't want to go alone and kill themselves like the way this man is doing by himself on a railroad track. They go out and kill masses of people. And this is where these school suicides, killings are coming from. Imagine that. The candy, the Mentos candy. It's not just the Mentos the sour candy. It's all Mentos candy. Because this is affecting it all. Now, look at how many suicides. If you Google how many suicides are committed by people throwing themselves in front of trains, on train tracks, you would be shocked of the number. The bombing thing. The self-inflictions, the other one that where the guy was shooting himself and stabbing himself and then throwing himself off of a building. All of these things are very disturbing. You know what I mean? They showed the guy throwing himself off of a building. Look at this, hanging. I don't want to get personal with this, but just a few years back, my son calls himself 20 years old. This was the way that he committed suicide, by hanging. You know, you have to wonder, is this stuff linked to the death of people? You have to, these people are taking responsibility. It's no different, again, than a person stating that they committed an act of terrorism, and then they telling you they claim a responsibility and showing you in these ads. You know, it's just amazing. Where's that? There's a guy right there. I'm gonna end the video with this because I only have a few minutes. The guy is jumping off of a building, committing suicide. He has a gun to his head, pulling the trigger. He has a knife shoved into his stomach. And then he's biting on his tongue, having an epileptic fit. 4 ways that he's dying. People, I'm going to leave the video there. I'll put a little bit more in writing. But this is serious business. And I'll put some more in writing.